Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our All the Mods 10 Let's Play. So today we're finally going to do it. We're going to construct our Runic Star Altar. We're going to see if we can't get all the way through getting our Patrick Starfish automations set up. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, got the don't get distracted barrel all set up for today because there's a lot to it. Handy dandy clipboard. Oh, look at that. We got ourselves a purple Easter egg. We may as well just eat it. There we go. Handy dandy clipboard, Runic Star Altar, Patrick Star concrete automation, which is required for the Patrick Star, and we are going to do that in the chemical injection chamber for mechanism. So I don't have all the stuff for the concrete in here, but this is everything we're going to need for our Runic Star Altar. All of these blocks, if you want to screenshot it, because it's not like an exact number in the quest book, and it doesn't tell you what ports. We have one thing we're going to make together here, and then the ports that I made the biggest ones I could for item input, item output, and energy input, and I made 2 of the 32 slot item input. I don't think we're going to need 2 of them because a lot of the items on the star creation are duplicates, so I don't think we'll have more than 32 stacks of items we need to get in, but just to be safe, we wanted to go ahead and make those. So everything else is in the quest book. These aren't spelt out, and it doesn't really tell you how to get this piece, so we're going to make that first. This is the ferrogenetic magnetic kinetic doohickey thingy. It's in the quest book. Come on. You know, they got all these fancy schmancy names, but this is the thing you need to do the thing with the other thing, okay? Okay. Magnetized darkstone pedestal. So if we go look it up, it tells you to place that down, and then you need to make your ferrogenetic mixture, which is just made on our forge with these ingredients. This wax comes from honey bottles and a slime ball. So I didn't think you guys needed to see any of that. I literally stuck a recipe into our forge, the automated forge we set up on stream right there for it, and it just spit one out for me. And then it says we're supposed to right click it, I do believe, in person with that. Let's go read for the magnetic, this one. Use ferrogenetic mixture on a darkstone pedestal. So shift, right click, not right click. Right click puts it on there. Shift, right click, creates it. And that should complete our prerequisites for the Runic Star Altar. So we're going to go ahead and grab out all of our ports and everything from the barrel, and let's head downstairs. We're going to put it right where we had the original altar, if it'll fit. We're going to try to put it right in here. So let me get this barrel out of the way. Probably should have grabbed an axe. Too late now. And this thingy, we might have to move. We'll see. I don't know how big this thing is. Let's go see if the quest book tells us. 15 by 9 by 15. Okay, so we need 15 blocks from here to the wall. Do we have that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, we don't. Okay, so it will not fit here. We are going to need a space bigger. Can we put it here in front of the star? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! No, we can't because this one's too far over. Dang it. All right. Looks like we're going to need some space. Is there anything over here? This space is not big enough either. All right. We're going to need a spot for this. Let's go find somewhere in our base, or I may have to make a new basement real quick. Hold on. I'll find area. All right, y'all. Had to make a new room. So just went straight down underneath our main elevator block to get down from upstairs, and I carved out a chunk and then some because this structure is 15 by 15 by 9, which means that if we take this machine blueprint, you're going to be able to see that it fits in here, but just barely. On one side, two sides, technically, we're going to have it touching the wall. And then it's going to be able to be accessed from the front because this is in a separate chunk. And on the side, because it's 15 by 15 and a chunk is 16 by 16, so that leaves one row on two sides of the thing. So we just have to remember not to put any kind of interfaces that interact with it on the other side of that chunk, and we should be good to go. Now, this is my third attempt to get this put together for you guys, so we're going to right-click here, and we are going to tell it that we want it to try and place the structure. We're going to tell it without modifiers and see if it goes. Okay, it says essence utrim jar. It's missing. What is that? UTREM jar. Those were not on the list. So we're going to hope that those are not needed. And if they are, we're going to have to figure it out. It says status missing structure. I wonder if that's because it's missing ports or what it's missing. It's probably because it's missing ports. So, all right, I'm not going to redo this for a fifth take. We're just going to roll with the bloopers of Wooly. So, you know how I'm always telling you guys, go read the quests. Well, if you come down here and read the quest, it tells you to put all this stuff together. And then it says that on the 6th layer, you need the pillars, the quantum injectors, and that thingy. And on the 4th layer, magnetized pedestal in the middle, and the jars. The jars are not in the list of required items. How am I supposed to know? It's in the text, but it's not up there for me. So we're going to put those 4 jars there. Kind of makes me think this thing's going to need souls and blood and all that stuff, but I didn't see that mentioned anywhere in here either. Let's make sure I'm not missing it. First layer is just polished darkstone along with the controller. Yeah, it doesn't talk about that at all. And then the quantum injector, and then it does talk about the jars that aren't in the list there. And then it says, last thing we need to do to start the altar is adding our hatches. Place them on the outside of the arcane polished darkstone like shown. You'll need some energy inputs and outputs. Okay, so they go in a different spot than on the other structure. It looks like they go here. We'll do some item inputs on these two. And then we'll come over here on the other side we can get to, and we will do energy and item output. And now we should have a completed structure. Still says status missing structure. What are we missing? Oh, does it want power? Let's give it power. Okay, so now it has power. Still says status missing structure. All right, you're going to have to give me a minute to try and figure out what it's missing, and I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, well, it looks like I figured it out. Now it says no matching recipe found. You have to put these jars down, and then you can't use your liquid souls unless I'm missing it. You have to right-click them and fill them with, I'm guessing it'll take any of the souls, but the enchanted souls are what I was using. I have all of those from bees, thanks to, Squirrel. Thanks to Squirrel. He dropped off some bees for these wannabes that are harvesting the crystallized versions of these guys. And it looks like it needs the souls to be manually put into these jars for them to be tagged right and recognized for the structure. Wow. Hopefully there are updates, and hopefully some of this stuff is cleared up in the quest book. If it is, I'll try and mention it in future after we update the server. Here we go. What are we doing? Get with it, Wooly. Yeah, I tried piping these in too. It wouldn't let me. I don't know if maybe I could do it with like a barrel and an item pipe. Let's see, because having to sit here and do this by hand would really suck. But if we could pipe it in with like an item pipe, that'd be cool. Let's just give it a rudimentary try here. We'll go there. We'll put this here. Nope, pipe doesn't interact with it. So that's not going to work. You probably could do it with just dire things with like a clicker, since it wants to be right-clicked. Probably could do it with the player card that does the right-click placement from modular routers, maybe. Those are a couple options. Right now, I'm just going to put a little bit of this in here, and we'll see if the thing runs. If it doesn't run, then we'll go from there. But we can't really make much on it without moving along in the episode. So here is our structure. It says no matching recipe found, which means the structure is now complete. So what do we do with it? Well, this is where we're going to make our star, and we're going to have to pipe things in and out of the item inputs and outputs that are on the structure, which we have not put down yet. So we're going to put our item inputs right here, where they go again, because I had to break this in between clips. Hopefully the machine still says it is a machine after we put this stuff down. And there is our output. Okay. No matching recipe found. It still thinks it's a machine. Cool. So if I figure out a way to automate the souls into here, I'll let you guys know. But other than that, let's grab out the clipboard and let's see where we are after I clean my inventory, because I'm sort of like that. All right. Runic Star Altar, done. All right, let's talk about Patrick Star. So Patrick Star is going to require a lot of different concrete recipes that we need to put into our system. We need magenta powder, pink concrete, green concrete, lime concrete, and green concrete powder. So we're going to need a bunch of recipes to get all of that put in. And then for the actual concretes, we're going to need a way to take the powder and turn it into those. So let me get all these recipes together, and then I'm going to meet you guys. I think Mechanism Land ran out of channels, but we've got Industrial Foregoing Land right here, and it's got plenty. So we'll come right over here, and we will get our chemical injection chamber set up on a pattern provider. Let me get some patterns made up, and we'll get started. Well, isn't this interesting? I guess I missed it, but we can actually make our concretes without a couple of different ways, without needing to do any kind of manual mixing. Something added this recipe with just a water bucket and the powder, and it comes out as blocks. And we can also use water essence, which we're getting from our farms and probably have an absolute ton of, to create it. Now, we have both methods available to us because we have the system set up where it can make water buckets from essences, and we have the essences themselves. I don't see the reason for a double craft to make the bucket first since the essence is already raw. So here are all of our concrete powders. We were missing a pattern for gravel. I went ahead and got that going for us. And then now all we really need to do is we're not going to need to set up any machine. We're going to be able to just do this with recipes. So if we come in here to the pink concrete, now that we have the powder, you can make the recipe right here with just the powder and the essence. There we go. And it will craft those much faster than having to process it through a machine, because this is just a simple crafting pattern. And once we get into our quantum crafter setup thing, which quantum computing and all that I hope will be the next episode, which would make it Monday's episode, we'll get into that on that one. That's something I really want to get done because it should pick up the pace for all of our crafting. Now, there is an elephant in the room. This is ready. I'm just saving it for the end. And this being our insanite block that we need for our star piece. So here are all of the crafting patterns. Let's just toss them in, and we should be able to craft up everything we need to feed the Runic Star Altar for Patrick Starfish. I don't know what I thought I was scrolling through there. I was trying to scroll down here in our pattern provider to put recipes in, but yeah, I was just scrolling, man. Sometimes you just be scrolling. It's like Minecraft's version of doom scrolling right there. There we go. So now the system can make everything needed for the Patrick Star. So rather than attempting to just get all those materials together and whatnot on our own, I was thinking, why don't we try to automate this Runic Star Altar in the same way that we have the other altar automated, our automatic Hephaestus Forge, this thingy. So for those of you that, I think we did it on stream, maybe it was a video, I can't remember. We brought things down and we just did some import-export buses to fill this. And then we have a pattern provider right here that's just providing the items into the big item input. And then we have a modular router that is pulling the output out of the output and sending it back. Now, I think we can get away with just doing this on one input the same way we did here down below. Hopefully we can, because if not, we're going to have to get into some interesting routing of items with another method. So let's get to that big item interface right here. And we're going to want to be able to get to the bottom of it, because that's where we're going to stick our pattern provider. Now, we do have our network right there, but it's going to be kind of ugly to get it down here. So why don't we just use another wireless setup here? Wireless, let's make these make in pairs, right? So let's make a new pair. And then we're going to grab out our setup kit. And we're going to put one down here. Let's just make a little bit of room. We're going to put it there. And then we're going to put the other one upstairs on the main network, tied in somewhere like there. That works. Clear it, right click it to bind it, come down here, and right click to connect. So now we've got our network right here. Let's get out an extended pattern provider, even though we probably only need a regular one. I don't know how many recipes are made in the Runic Star Altar, but it does not matter. So, full-size pattern provider, grab out our Fluix Smart Cable, and that should be online. Now, do I have that on the... I hope I have that one on the right one. I might need to... We'll see if we can see it. Let's see if we can see it. Big item input. What is this? Ludicrous item input. Ludicrous item input. All right, so it's in the right place. Now, Patrick Star. Let's make a recipe for him. Patrick Star. Runic Star Altar. Making him this way. There we go. Now the moment of truth. Can we make Patrick the Star? We should be able to see the items coming into the ludicrous item input when they start coming in. What are we missing? Something's hung up. Pink dye, pink powder. No matching star recipe. Did it make it already? Oh my gosh, it made it already. Okay, so we could get this item back a couple of ways. I think we can just slap an input bus on there, and if it sees it come back in the system, it doesn't care where it comes from. Or we could do the same thing we were doing before with a modular router. Why don't we just try the input bus, since we do have some availability on that edge. Let me go break a couple holes here. So where am I digging? Let's break a hole here. And then let's break a hole where we need to go, and then we'll know when to turn. So back down under. Now we can just go this way till we see the hole in the floor. Turn. There we go. So now we should be right here underneath. Let's stick an input bus right here, import bus right there. And then bring some cable around with it. We're probably going to need more cable. We can just use Fluix glass because we don't need to know how many channels are used. And we are still in the chunk if we come this way. We could use our personal shrinking device to be able to do this in one hole, but, you know, I don't honestly care. So there we have it. Aha! And it pulls our Patrick Star back in. We have now created the Patrick Star for our All the Mod Star. That was the goal of today's episode, y'all. So let's get off our elevator block. Let's pull out our Patrick Star. And, you know, let's all take a trip down over here to Bikini Bottom. Oh, wait, that's not how this goes. Why is Patrick star? Oh, we never pulled the concrete in. Okay, where does he go? Let's put him on the star. He goes dead in the middle. Boom. Nope, that's not the middle, Wooly. There we go. One more star piece completed. Woo. I think this may end up in the edit being a short episode. I am honestly not sure, but that was what we had on the list to get covered. We did it a different way than I had on the list because I never saw the recipe that uses those water essences when I was looking through right up until we were getting ready to craft it. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. I am having a whole lot of fun. And, did you guys think I'd leave you without making that piece from the last episode? I got you. Hope you're still here. So let's go ahead and craft up our insanite block. We're going to need to make an insanite block out of the ingots from the last episode and put it in our inventory. And then now, here we go. Insanite block from Extreme Reactors. That is all the work we did in the last episode, and it goes right up there. We are down to just one piece needed for our Philosopher's Fuel, and that is the one that I do believe is going to be replaced with something non-modern industrialization in the update. I was eyeballing that update. There have been a couple of other updates, and they added refined storage. Oh my god, I like refined so much more than AE2, but AE2 is more capable, or at least has been as a general rule. But refined is just so much more simple of a storage mod. So those of you who are just starting the pack, look at it. Look at refined storage for an early game digital storage system because it is a lot more simple than this AE2. AE2, though, tends to be a lot better for automation. So thank you so much for watching. We are inching closer to having the star completed. We now have a functioning altar to make the star on once we get there, and I can't wait. If you haven't already, hit that like button if you liked it, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Come hang out with us tomorrow on Saturday morning for Coffee and Crafting. Here on my YouTube channel, we usually do about 4 hours of just hanging out and working on stuff in this world. And the people that are on the server, sometimes they pop in, they say hello. People like Squirrel throw random things into my inventory while I am streaming. And, it's all good. So we'll see y'all then. Bye-bye.